What's going on, everybody? It's mid-February 2025. I'm out here at Cornutus and I am still running the land business from my little town in West Texas. And 2025 has been a pretty solid start thus far. Two subdivisions that we basically just closed on and have pretty much already sold out, which is pretty insane to think about. It's giving me the money to fund this place. Here's all of our billboards that we have to go in the desert along the highway. But the land niche and the land business is, I think, really taken a positive turn, at least in my opinion, as the new year is kicked off. We got a new president, obviously, new economy, sort of. Interest rates are still high, but owner financing for me has still been huge. Have had basically no problems originating owner finance notes here. On our current project, we're getting $10,000 down and $1,250 per month for 120 months. It's a $107,500 note at 7% interest plus the $10,000 down, looking at $117,500 total purchase on that project. So, you know, land is still selling. I think we're selling 3 or 4 lots per week right now. We got these projects going, and I'm actually looking for more inventory, which is a good problem to have. Obviously, it means you're selling so much land that you need to buy more. And I was telling my guys, they're back there building a fence right now, that I'm trying not to fall into the kind of land newbie trap, so to speak. A lot of you guys, especially beginners, they might go out, buy 3, 4, 5 lots, and they say, okay, now I got all this inventory, I'm gonna stop my direct mailing, SMS, lead generation, deal flow. I'm gonna stop that until I sell all of my lots, right? I got 5 lots to sell. I need to sell them before I go and keep looking for more land to purchase. Well, that is one of the biggest mistakes that you can make, and I'm trying not to fall into that trap myself. It's a little bit harder when you're dealing with $500, $1 million, $1.5 million purchases because, you know, you're raising money. It's more a lot more stuff going on, but you don't want to just stop buying land because you have inventory to sell, because at least in my experience, it is always going to sell. And that's what we're doing right now. We're offloading a bunch of land, and if I'm not careful, we're going to hit a point where we basically have no inventory to sell. And then what the heck are my guys doing? Both my sale and ops guys and myself, we don't have any land to sell. What are we gonna do, twiddle our thumbs? Maybe we'll be out here at Cornutus flipping burgers. But you know, that's a trap that I'm trying not to fall into. Selling quite a few notes this year as well. One focus of my business here going forward is going to be originate a lot more high quality notes, right? We actually just signed up for a loan originator. Gonna start doing an RMLO process on vacant lots. Now, there's a whole argument that could be had about Dodd-Frank, vacant land. Do you need to use a loan originator when you're creating owner finance notes? I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole, okay? I can only tell you that a lot of note buyers in the land space want to see a properly in their mind originated note, and that includes some more buyer verification, which traditionally I've done basically no buyer verification. I don't credit check, I don't employment check, I don't get bank statements, income verification, none of that, right? So that's something that I'm looking to actually transition towards, so that way I open my buyer pool of investors who are willing to buy my notes at a lot better rates, because they view it as less risk. The buyer has good credit. The buyer has, you know, money coming in, good bank statements, good employment, all those things. And so that's going to help me originate a lot higher quality notes. Immediately, what I have done and instructed my team to do is get higher down payments. It's going to slow lot sales down a little bit on some of these subdivisions, but if the land is really high quality and a high demand area, it's not going to slow it down that much. And that's what we're seeing on this current project. We're getting 10,000 down instead of 2,500 or 3, 4, 5,000 down. We're getting $10,000 down, which is about 9 or 10% of the purchase price. And that is really gonna allow me to move those notes on the back end to investors and get a lot more for those notes and help me cash out of the project if I so choose. My default rate's gonna be lower. Also, obviously, I'm gonna get a lot more money up front to go reinvest in different deals. So higher down payments, more buyer credit verifications, all those things is kind of a focus for me in 2025 as I scale this business. My Army truck behind me, thing blew an oil hose or gasket or something. We got to get that looked at. But by the way, as a beginner, I'm not sure I entirely recommend that strategy because it's going to slow down your sales. You're going to have more friction, especially if you're going through the RMLO process. As a beginner, I don't really regret doing a low down payments and having a bunch of monthly cash flow. And I think there's a completely different mindset if you're scaling the business versus if you're a beginner, right? If I'm building a $100 million company, which is my goal to do, how am I going to move 10, 20, $30 million in paper of crappy notes where I got $1,000 or $3,000 down with no credit check? I'm not. I mean, of course, there's going to be note buyers who are interested in purchasing that paper, but I'm not going to be able to do that at scale. I'm not going to be able to sell $20 million in notes that were originated with $2,000 down and no credit check. An investor is going to laugh me out of the building, or any bank is going to laugh me out of the building, right? So that's something that's extremely important to think about in terms of scale. But if you're a beginner, I say let it rip. Get a down payment as much as you can and start getting your monthly cash flow going. You're always going to be able to find investors on the back end who are willing to buy that note, that asset. It might be at a steeper discount, but it is what it is, and you take your hit and you move on, move that capital into another project as a beginner. So I'm actively on the lookout for my next subdivision project. I have a couple of potential candidates, probably gonna make offers on this week. We're just finalizing sales on this, be about a $5 million project that we're doing right now, total of 36 lots, and we have, let's see, 26 of them sold. So 26 out of 36 sold. Not bad. I've already gotten, I don't know, 6 or 7 of those notes sold as well. And so, things are going good on that front. Building roads, got a good road contractor that I've found and started using this year that I like. And we got a couple other massive projects ready to kick off too with equity partners, which is cool. That's something that I've never done, but I think something that's important to do, especially as you get the credibility and the capacity to do that. Now, as a beginner, you're not gonna be able to go out and pitch someone on a $5 or $10 million project and raise all that money. I mean, you could, I guess anything's possible. It's a lot more difficult, right? Something that takes experience, credibility, a track record. Once you get that, why not utilize other people's money? As long as you have the bandwidth and the team to do it, use other people's money and get more cash flow and money rolling in. So that's a goal for me in 2025 as well, is to do a monster project. I'm trying to identify some in the tens and tens of millions of dollars. We made an offer on one, it was just a couple weeks ago, going back and forth with the seller, but we had offered what would be like a $10 to $15 million purchase. Land's probably worth 60 or 70 million. You're talking another 10 or 15 million in infrastructure. So this is like a 25 million all in and like a 60 or 70 million all out. And that's a project that I'm looking to nail here in 2025. One like that. Those are my guys in the Tahoe, finishing up the fence, expanding our RV park here in my town of Cornudas, Texas. Right now we have 6 spots. Got a new mobile home in here. RV parks over there. See Charlie walking around with someone, giving them a tour. I'm gonna stay away from them as I wrap up this video, but everything's going good for 2025. I think this is set to be a record year for me, at least from the first month and a half. We just got to keep pushing though. When you're running at that scale, and especially as you're growing, I feel like it can be hard to keep your gas pedal down and kind of pedal to the metal consistently. It takes more time, resources, bigger team, all that good stuff that I'm learning and trying to implement as we grow, all the while running this business, my town, an education business, and the land business. But it's a fun time, can't complain. It's a perfect day to fire up another land talk video here. It's 65 in Cornutus and not windy today, which is awesome. Great day to be outside. Hope y'all are doing well here in the new year, and let's keep pushing and pushing and making it a record year.